Hello, everyone. This is Laura Simpson from Web Luminary, and I am going to give you a tour of Google Analytics. So this is something that I haven't done in a while because I don't want people to know what my clients are ranking for. So I finally did a website that I don't think it matters that much in terms of you knowing what they're ranking for because they don't have any competition. It's a government entity. They are the North Carolina Association of School Administrators, and I finished their website this year. And there's now plenty of analytics to look at, but it's a great example. And let's just dive right in. So first, I jumped a little bit. First, if you don't know how to get into Google Analytics, you can log in. So type in Google Analytics into Google, and it's analytics.google.com. It'll ask you to log in. It's going to be a Gmail address or account is going to be the email address that you use. So you just use your Google email address and password to get into here. And there you are. I'm going to take you straight into one. So for the most part, you're not going to see a list. You're going to see just one on the list. And I've created two types of analytics accounts, but we're going to go into Google Analytics 4. This is the newest one, and after a while, the old type, which is called UA, Universal or something like that, is going to go away eventually. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly when, but I create two for my clients. More because I was having a hard time navigating in here. They have hidden some things that I used to use. Oh, I'm sorry, there's my timer. Alexa, stop. That's my timer to stop working on a website. So let's go in and let me explain real quick what all this means. So normally when you go in, you're going to see this dashboard. You're going to be in the home, and it defaults to the last 7 days. As you can see, this website is quite extensively used compared to all the other small business owners that I've done websites for. In the last 7 days, they've had over 1,000 visitors, 1.2K, and that's up 15%. Of those, 1.1 were new. And engagement time is how long they're on the website. There used to be something called bounce. And we don't need to explain that now, but how long they're on the website, 54 seconds. That really just depends on what's good and what's not good. Sometimes a really high number can mean they can't find what they're looking for. Sometimes a really low number means that a bunch of bots have been bouncing off of it, and it really means nothing. I would just say to watch it in terms of going really up or really down. Event count, I'm not going to explain that because most people do not have, that's filling out the contact form or hitting a button. So that's what that means. Doing something on a website versus just reading it. That's how many people have done that in the past 7 days, and how many users in the last 11 minutes. So don't expect numbers this high if you're a small business owner. And I'm going to move on to reports. So scrolling over to the left, hit reports. And as you can see, the numbers we're back to 1 day, but why is this? This is the month snapshot. It's like October the 11th to November the 11th. The way to change that is up here. So you can change that. You can do a month over month comparison. Wow. Used to be you just change the dates. Compare on, here we go. And let's compare it to the month before. There we go. And so the preceding period is the dashes. And you can see it just really depended on the day of the week, whether they had higher or lower users in that day. So a lot of this can be explained by the seasonality of their conferences. But it's just, if that's information that's useful to you, there it is. What I find interesting is where are their users coming from? So as you can see in the past month, only 10% have come from the United States. So this is kind of crazy. So then the question is, well, how many? So this is a North Carolina government organization. Is it really applicable to anywhere in any other country? No, it isn't. So let's hit new countries. And we can get some real website data. So we can see how many people are really hitting the website in the United States. And you can get even more granular. Which I will save for another video because I know how to do that the other times. the UA. But at least you can kind of see, all right, this is how many users. No, it's not. I was looking at it wrong. 6,000 users. And then all the other countries are pretty minuscule. This is 1 month. This is another month. Okay. Or maybe 2 months. So let's go back to acquisition. And this is the best report for small business owners, in my opinion. What I always want to know is, especially if your website's been around for a while, or what are people typing into Google to find you? And this is the kind of thing I hesitate to do a video about on my own website because I don't want my competition to know what for. But for this company, we can do that. So it's kind of hidden here. Organic Google search clicks. So let's go into that. Let's click on the blue. And let's get out of this comparison. Yeah, to look at. All right. So that was up there. Now it's just September 13th to November 7th. What are they ranking for? Well, they're ranking for their initials, NCASA. That's great. What I do is I look at the Google search click column and I do a sort on that. It was already sorted that way. What are people typing in the most? What are people typing in next? And so for me, these numbers are honestly in the single digits. What I'm found for is, a website designer in North Carolina, Raleigh area. I'm looking to get, I don't know, a click a day, honestly. I think I get like 40 clicks, 50 clicks. So, but I'm a website designer. How many people are looking for a website? Chick-fil-A, well, no, Chick-fil-A is about example. I'm not a big company, so that's okay. But they've got some good information here. So this is telling me that the next thing that they're ranking for is the educational leadership conferences in 2023, which is something that they run. So that makes sense. And over here, it tells you what their average Google ranking is for that. there could be other websites, especially in these school districts, and individual schools' websites might mention this conference. So on average, they're 5.59 for that. And then, but what's interesting to me is that there's been a lot of queries about teacher bonuses, and they are number one, number two on average for teacher bonus information in North Carolina. That is really good information for them, and that shows that they are a trusted source of state educator information. Really great job for the guy who runs this website, Rick. And you can just see all the things this website, I said he runs a website by himself, that they are ranking for. So a lot of times when I go in this report, especially if I'm only looking at the week, I'll see a bunch of goose eggs here. I'm just so modest. I mean, I'm sure my competitors are not that different. I'll get a lot of impressions. So impressions, I'm not quite sure if that means you're on page 1, 2, or 3. I need to look into that, and I'll put that in the comments. The organic Google search click-through rate, that's great information. So what that tells me is the let me see, let me type that in. Roy Cooper stimulus check. So the average click-through search rate is 2.76%. That means perhaps that there could be better metadata. And let me show you that. And then I'm going to end this video, because this is really the most useful. So if I'm gonna, oh shoot, I'm gonna do that. Roy Cooper. I was researching a full company else with me. All right, Roy Cooper stimulus check 2022. And let's look at North Carolina. So according to this, I should find this website. Here we go. This is ncasa.net. That's the analytics we're looking at. And this is the metadata that everybody has control over. So your metadata can be compelling, and really your goal for your search terms is to not only be at the top, but you want to be the most trusted source of whatever you're looking for. So this is the government, not the best example. I'm cracking myself up. But anyway, I'm going to look at press releases, but that's okay. I mean, it's not like I'm hurting anyone's feelings here. It's not, this isn't their number one source of business in North Carolina Association of School Administrators, but it's just an example. So what you read here, see how the word Cooper is bolded, 2022. See the words that I typed in, Google is looking at them and deciding what to pop up. And then the click-through rate is the likelihood that I am going to click on this based on what I read here. So what you write there, if you're making your own website, to me is important, almost as important as coming up here on page 1. So that's the end of my Google Analytics for 4. And please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Again, this is Laura Simpson, Web Luminary. And have a good day. Bye-bye.